going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Luttie's Look Back, episode number 40. We've been at it for a while. My name is Nick Luttrell. We've got a fun show as always with our headlines of the week. We'll get to those in a second. And then a very special next few shows as we'll be breaking down the best sports moments from the state of Arkansas in this past athletic season, which I'm really looking forward to getting to. That'll be the bulk of our shows these next few weeks, since there's not a ton of sports going on, in case you haven't noticed. We'll get to all of that in a few minutes, but for now, we'll start with our headlines. It's first up in the NBA draft. Adou Thiero picked by the Los Angeles Lakers. I think a lot of people expected, obviously, Thiero to be picked at some point in the draft, whether it was going to be towards the end of the first round or the beginning of the second round. Ended up being the beginning of the second, but I don't know. For me, at one point in the season, I would have thought maybe be a draft pick, maybe not. Like, it wasn't a for sure going into this season, hey, Adou Thiero is going to be a draft pick, which is really impressive. I think that obviously gives a lot of credit to Coach Calipari and what he's been able to do and groom Thiero to the player that he is. Also give credit just to God, Mother Nature, I don't know, because this kid was super small high school kid, not very big freshman player for the Wildcats at Kentucky, and just kept getting bigger and stronger and taller. And I think his size, his athleticism, I think that's what really paid off for him. And his skills just kept getting better as well. Obviously, when you play in the NBA, you have to have that size, that muscle, or you have to just be really tall. And Adou has that muscle. He has that size. Maybe not the height that's amazing, but height enough to be a really good player for the Lakers. So as you see behind me, the 36th overall pick in the second round, he's going to get to play with Luka Doncic and LeBron James. I'm going to say two of the top 20 players ever in the NBA. LeBron obviously in the top two. I'm not going to specify which two there. Luka Doncic, yeah, he's pretty good. You obviously probably know that if you watch NBA or if you follow basketball. He's both those players are exceptional. So it's going to be cool for Adou to follow those guys in their footsteps. And the cool thing for us as Razorback fans, here in a few weeks, we're going to get to see him play in the NBA Summer League. Hopefully he makes a good impression there, then actually makes the NBA team, maybe get some decent minutes off the bench. Maybe not this year, but a year or two down the line. You look at guys like Jalen Williams and Isaiah Joe. When they started with the Thunder, or I guess Jalen started with the Thunder, Isaiah didn't, but slowly but surely they've gotten more playing time, and they've put together a really good team in Oklahoma City that just won the NBA Finals. And it's a Laker team that is now capable of doing that because of Luka Doncic, not because of Adou Thiero. He's really good, but he'll certainly help them put some puzzle pieces together as probably a backup power forward for that Lakers team. So that is headline number one. Let's move on to number two. Another guy that got drafted who I don't think many people expected got drafted. He was actually listed off of like every top 100 NBA draft board, all of the mock drafts. He didn't have this guy. His name's Talon Peter. If you haven't heard of him, you might want to remember his name, because he could be a guy that's like the guy that's no one knows his name that gets drafted, and then all of a sudden he could become a really good player in the NBA. He's a kid from right here in not necessarily Central Arkansas. It's close enough, right? River Valley, I guess, is Russellville. He's from Russellville, played at Russellville High School, went to Tennessee Tech for his freshman season, came back, went to Arkansas Tech in Russellville for 3 years, and then he transferred to Liberty for his final season because he got really good and he got better. And now he got drafted, and now he's going to get to play for the Indiana Pacers, just like Thiero will have that summer league opportunity. We'll get to develop a little bit there, which we'll get to watch him play in a few weeks, and that'll be cool. And then hopefully he'll make the team, keep playing in the G League. You know, we'll kind of see how those things go. But I never heard of him, I'll be honest. I never heard of him. But I watched some of his tape, and it's really impressive. I think the Pacers got a really good player out of Talon Peter. So I did get a chance to talk with him earlier this week, and this is what he had to say.
I got a phone call from my agent right around the 52nd pick, telling me that I was going to get picked by the Indiana Pacers, have my phone on me right next to me or whatever. Then by the 53rd pick, I was on the phone with my guy Ryan Carr from the Indiana Pacers, and he asked me if I wanted to be a Pacer, and I said absolutely. And family went bonkers. It was a moment I'll remember forever.
Well, it's a really special moment for Taylon Peter. I mean, he as I mentioned, he's a guy who grew up in Russellville, Arkansas. He said to me that, you know, as a kid running around in Russellville, on the streets of Russellville, no one would have expected him to make it to that moment, to get drafted, not only just get drafted in the NBA, but get drafted by a team that was really close to winning the NBA Finals. So really special for Taylon Peter. And as you can see behind me, he is more than worthy of my Luttie's Legend of the Week. You can see we're doing this. It's you know, we do it every week on my show. Normally it's a player who had a really good performance. This guy's still a legend. He didn't have a certain performance, but he got drafted. He's a kid from Russellville, Arkansas. He's an Arkansas native, and I just think that's a cool story. And it'll be fun to watch his career and watch him grow and develop in the NBA. As a prospect, he's a pretty young guy, but I know he'll continue to get even better playing with the Indiana Pacers. So that's headline number 2. Let's go to headline number 3. Remy Cofield is the new Razorback Athletics General Manager. If you haven't noticed, more athletic departments are starting to do this. They're starting to have one guy over the top. Honestly, I wish I had more information to share with you. I have a small grasp of what this guy actually does. I think as the years go on, as the months go on, we're going to see what his role actually is and how out in the public he actually is. Because obviously Hunter Yurachek is the athletics director, and then this guy is below Hunter but above the head coaches is kind of the vibe I get. But anyway, the reason it's a headline this week is because he met with the media for the first time. We finally got to talk to him as media and ask him a bunch of questions. He had a lot to say, and we had a lot to ask him as the media, but here's one little thing that I want to show you guys.
Coaching staff needs something. They need advice on this particular rule that we're looking at. Like, call us up. Let's figure it out. If you want to talk about roster, players, all that stuff, you need a connection to somebody that I may have. Let's figure it out. So I think in my role, it's just trying to be a connector in a lot of ways, making sure every staff has what they need from a rev share standpoint, but also is brought up to speed on the new rules that are coming through that we're all kind of learning right now. We don't have a lot of answers to, but we're trying to get ahead of it and be proactive in that space.
Yeah, Cofield kind of mentioned it there. I think a huge part of his role will be trying to figure out this new world of college athletics, because this whole house settlement thing just got settled, I guess, within court. So that, if you're not aware of that, and I'm actually working on a story later today about summarizing that for our viewers, so that will be online probably by the time you watch this. But the whole NCAA versus house settlement thing, it went into effect July 1st, which is tomorrow, right? So the whole thing with this house settlement is it's very confusing. And a couple things with it. There's going to be revenue sharing for athletic departments. They're going to have to start using some of that money that they used to go somewhere else. Now it has to go to the players. That's part of it, along with the revenue sharing. There's also back pay included as far as the athletes from like 2016 to 2021 or something like that, before NIL became a thing. Some of those athletes, and most of those athletes, are going to get compensated now, because if NIL was a thing when, like, I don't know, when Tyler Wilson was quarterback for the Razorbacks, then he might have gotten a little bit of money, but he didn't. So maybe he's the guy who could become eligible for money. There's a lot of crazy, weird things about this lawsuit that recently got settled, but going into effect July 1st, a lot's going to change with college athletics. That's the one thing I know right now. And Remy Cofield is a guy who is going to, I think, be in charge of knowing what's going on with all of that and helping the coaches understand and helping the coaches negotiate how much should we pay Taylon Green, those things. I think his biggest role will be for football. Football takes the cake. Even though Arkansas football isn't great, it takes the cake as far as money right now. And that's how it's always been. That's how it probably always will be. So that's a little bit about Remy Cofield. Those are our headlines of the week. All right, we've got a brand new segment here on Luttie's Look Back, the Natural State's best college sports moments. There's not a ton of sports going on right now. It's those long months of the summer where we don't got a lot to talk about. And on Luttie's Look Back, I wanted to, of course, look back at some of the best moments in Arkansas sports, not history, but the year of Arkansas sports. And that does not just mean the Razorbacks. That means a plethora of all our other schools from around the state, including UCA, UAPB, Little Rock, Arkansas State. I hope I'm not missing any. But what I basically did, I picked 20 of the best moments from this past year in the athletic calendar year, 20 of the best moments, and I'll break them all down for you in these next 3 weeks. So quick overview before we get into the 20. What we're going to do this week, I'm going to show you top moment number 20 through top moment number 14. Next week will be 13 to 6, and then the third week, the final week, will be top moment number 5 all the way until the very top moment. So I'm going to make you wait. I'm not going to tell you those top 5 moments until 2 weeks from now. But you're going to want to stick around for these first few, because although they're not the biggest and most amazing moments, they're still really special moments that are going to be really exciting for me to talk about. So that's the intro to it. Let's go ahead and get into our top moment number 20. It's UAPB. Now, their baseball team hasn't been good recently. Historically, not very good. This season, it was different. And probably the moment that stood out to me the most this season for the Golden Lions baseball team was their series win over Bethune-Cookman. I think that was towards the end of the season, maybe mid-season as far as conference play goes. The Golden Lions were picked third to last maybe in their conference. In the bottom half, let's just say in the bottom half. Bethune-Cookman was picked in the top half easily. I think they were leading the conference at that time. I think they might have gone on to win the conference. UAPB goes to their place and upsets them, wins 2 out of 3. The first time that's happened in program history for them to take down Bethune-Cookman, I think, unless I wrote that down wrong. But, this was a season that UAPB capitalized on with the brand new head coach who led the way and changed things for the better. Logan Stout, he was a unique hire, but he came in and did a lot of really good things for UAPB as a season, but also this moment, getting the series win over Bethune-Cookman. At that moment, it was their most conference win since 2018 when they got that series win. I think they finished with their most conference wins since 2002 was the final stat. So really impressive what UAPB was able to do. That is top moment number 20. Let's go to top moment number 19. It's UCA. Now, the athletic year for UCA wasn't amazing. I'll go ahead and give you my honest thoughts here. This was the only one out in the top 20 that belonged to Central Arkansas. That doesn't mean it wasn't a good year for some of their other sports programs. Football did good in the start and then kind of fell off down the stretch. Baseball had some good moments. Softball, maybe 1 or 2 good moments there. I'm sure there were others. UCA fans, I'm sure there were others. But this, the women's basketball team, and before I talk about women's basketball, I'll talk about men's basketball. I know they had a rough year. They won like 8 or 9 games, but Lane Taylor was so much fun to watch. I know he's gone. He's transferred to Murray State, but he was a lot of fun to watch. There were great moments watching Lane Taylor. But I think overall, the best team that UCA had this year, and probably the best moment was UCA. The best team, UCA women's basketball, the best moment was them just continuing their win streak, their home win streak. I think at one point it was 22 straight home games that they had won. They were on a real hot streak. They had won 12 games in a row heading into the big battle with Florida Gulf Coast in mid-February. Well, they ended up losing 2 in that regular season game. They ended up losing 2 in the conference championship title game. So frustrating that they couldn't get past FGCU, who's a powerhouse, but they had an amazing win streak. Jade Upshaw, Leah Mafua, Elizabeth Abiara, so many good weapons, so many powerful players on that Sugar Bears team. That was really fun to watch this season, and that includes their home game win streak and their win streak in general. That they put together a pretty good season for Tony Kemper's 3rd season at the helm in Conway. So that was pretty cool. That's top moment number 19. Top moment number 18, we go to Arkansas softball. Don't worry, this is not the only one, but this stands at number 18. Arkansas getting the series win against the number 1 team in the country, Texas A&M. It was the first time the Razorbacks have won a series against the number 1 team in the country in program history. And this was one of those moments where you were like, okay, this this Arkansas softball team might actually be really good. This is when, okay, they didn't start out the conference season too well. Everyone knows that. They started out like 1-5 or something like that, 1-4. And then from there, they just kept getting a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And I know it was a tough way to see the season come to a close in the Super Regionals. But this win, to go into College Station, to knock off the number one team in the country, a team that had made it to the College World Series, the Women's College World Series Championship Series a season ago, for Arkansas to do that put them out there, and I think that they just made that made everyone think, okay, this Arkansas team is legit. They're a scary team. They're a team that could make it all the way to Oklahoma City, and they've yet to do that in their program history, but they're right there. They're knocking on the door. I know it's going to happen soon. I'm optimistic with Courtney Deifel and the future they have there. But the moment of the season, not of the season, but one of the top moments was getting that win against Texas A&M. Ella McDowell had a great game, 3 RBIs, a home run, a great series, I should say. Bree Ellis, who was the greatest Arkansas softball player in Razorback softball history, 4 for 8 on that weekend, 3 RBIs, 2 home runs, just sensational, and that's how she was all season long. So what a moment for the Razorbacks. That is top moment number 18. Top moment number 17, we'll go back to the basketball world. Arkansas State men's hoops. Again, we talked about with softball, you knew that moment when you knew they were going to be good. I think this is that moment with Arkansas State. They won a game at Memphis. This was a Tigers team that was in the top 25 at the time. For the Red Wolves, it was their highest ranked win in school history and still stands at that place. And I think it only went up from there as far as improvement and confidence in this team. We saw them go on a little bit of a home win streak. They didn't finish the season. They had a great season, but they finished it just short of making it to March Madness, losing in, I think, the semifinals of their conference tournament. They might have made it to the championship. I could be wrong there. But this moment, when you go, I know it's on a Power 4 team, but in basketball, since Memphis kind of is a Power 4 team, is it a Power 4 team? Do they move conferences? I don't know. Big 12? I don't know. Well, I'm running in circles right now. Memphis is a really good basketball program. That's the point of this. And Arkansas State, to go to their place to get the win is really impressive, and that was deserving of a really great moment. The highest ranked win in school history. Joseph Pinion cooked in that game, 22 points, 5 3-pointers, a career high for him. It was a sensational win at Memphis and a great season for the Red Wolves men's basketball team. That is top moment number 17. Top moment number 16, sticking with basketball. Arkansas going to New York City where the lights are bright and taking down Michigan in Madison Square Garden. A thrilling win, 89-87. Against a Michigan team that I think that was ranked at the time. Arkansas was still like, they might be good, they might not. They had, a few weeks prior, they just lost to Illinois in that Thanksgiving Classic, so you weren't really sure if this was a team that was going to be really good. And I think what this win showed everybody is, or what we later learned, is this team will show up in big moments, and then they absolutely did. When they needed it down the stretch for this season for Arkansas men's basketball, they showed up. And they showed up in some really big ways. And I think that started with just a non-conference game in early December in New York City, taking down Michigan. I mean, this was probably one of the most thrilling games Arkansas played this year. If you remember, and I didn't remember, I'll be honest, I had to go back and look at this. How did this game go? I remember it being stressful. I don't remember it being this stressful. They were down 15 in the first half, and then they were later up 18 in the second half. And then Michigan came all the way back. Arkansas ended up winning by only 2. So very, very crazy, very stressful way for a basketball game to go. But those are sometimes the most memorable one and very much deserving of one of the top moments for this season in athletics. The win showed what this team could be, and that's a team that was really good in great moments. And a team that obviously fell short of making it, all the way, but a team that put together a really good season that should be proud of. A moment like this, taking down Michigan. So that's moment number 16. Moment number 15 is a little bit of a different one. And I'll be honest, had to do a little bit of research. I knew this one needed to be included. I wasn't sure where. And you might be a Razorback fan and say, Nick, why are we putting UAPB golf in front of Arkansas men's basketball? I know. But for them to win the HBCU title First of all, that's a trophy. That's a title that's bigger than just winning a non-conference game in New York City. It's impressive what they did. And it was the first time they had done that in school history. Again, UAPB athletics, where we don't talk about them much, because in recent history, they haven't been sensational at anything. And it's been a lot of the time the Razorbacks, the Red Wolves, or the Bears, the Trojans have been taking the light away from the Golden Lions. And I think this is something that needs to be talked about more. And it's this golf team that won the HBCU title the first time in program history. Not only won it, but they won it by 32 strokes. If you know nothing about golf, 32 points, like in basketball, right? Or runs. Runs might be a stretch for like baseball. It's a lot. For them to win by that margin is really impressive. And I was like, how did they win by that margin? Looking it up, doing some research. Because again, I had to do some research on this. This is not something I really come up with and be like, hey, I know everything about Golden Lions golf. No, I don't. But I did some research. You probably didn't, but I did. I'm trying to pronounce his name correctly. Jose Brengegu. I'm going to go with that. He was 7 under for UAPB. The rest of the players were over par. 7 under, a really impressive score. He's the one who really helped them. He led the way for the Golden Lions to get their first HBCU title in program history. That is worthy of top moment number 15. Our last one we're going to do on today's show is top moment number 14. We'll go to soccer world. This feels like forever ago, but I knew it had to be mentioned as well. Arkansas women's soccer advancing to the Sweet 16, taking down Cal 1-0 at Razorback Soccer Stadium. It was a stressful game because it was 0-0 until the 65th minute. Bella Field finally scored for the Razorbacks, putting them up 1-0, and then that was it. Their defense was huge against a Cal team that had a really good offense. I'm pretty sure they had the Pac-12 Player of the Year. Or sorry, they wouldn't have been the Pac-12, would they? Maybe Big 12? I don't know. I don't know if Cal was in the Pac-12 anymore at that time. It feels like forever ago. It was back in like November, so less than a year. But it feels like there's been a lot that's happened since then. But Arkansas women's soccer had a terrific season. Obviously, they fell short in the Sweet 16, and it was crushing. It was in penalty kicks, and that would have been the best moment if they would have won the penalty kicks match. But they didn't. They won the Sweet 16 on their home field, and that was really cool. A really cool moment. A shutout for Keegan Smith, Arkansas's goalkeeper. Just a great defensive effort all around and worthy of top moment number 14. All right, let's take a breath. That was top moment number 20 all the way to top moment number 14. What do we got going forward for Luttie's Look Back? Well, let's look ahead a little bit. It's going to be a fun couple shows coming up because I just showed you number 20 to 14. The next 2 shows, we're going to go 13 to 6 and then 5 to 1 2 weeks from now. I'm really looking forward to it, talking about all these great moments. I know there were some bad moments in Arkansas sports athletic season this past year, but there were a lot of good ones, and I hope I'm giving you some optimism heading into the next season. This was a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching Luttie's Look Back episode number 40. I can't believe we've done 40 of these things. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who's watched and supported. So excited to continue doing it going into the future. We'll see you same time, same place next week.